Inside Abode, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? I'm your host, Dave Jones. Man, before we get started, subscribe to the podcast. It's dope. We got gems. We got all the things happening. It's free. It's free game. So anyway, just make sure you subscribe because today we have a really, really special guest with us today. We're going to talk about social media. So I know a lot of y'all, especially if you're in the real estate space, you think about social media a lot, but even just for anybody, this is a great, great topic. And we have an expert here with us. So my guest today is a father, a husband, a storyteller, an advocate for, children with special disabilities. He has a background as a social media manager for multiple big companies that names that you know. So I like to say he's a social media and content creator and storytelling expert. So we're very fortunate to have Rome Johnson on the show today with us today. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. See, you killed the intro. You left no crumbs. So
I
I
appreciate
I
that.
might just add, man of God,
Yeah,
aka
yeah.
dad swag. My goal with this content stuff is really to show what modern Black fatherhood looks like, especially because it is perceived a certain way. If you go on
Yep.
Google, it's perceived a certain way. You hear in the shows and movies perceived a certain way. So I want to make sure that narrative is flipped and people know that not only are Black dads out there being present, but we are also working on us too. Because it's two parts of fatherhood. It's what we do for our kids and our family, and what we're doing for our legacy, for our name to continue that. So appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah. No, man, and that's how we connected. I mean, the first time we talked, it was like we were just talking for hella, and we just were connecting on so many different levels, just because like that Black fatherhood piece. Like, yeah, I had two young boys, and my wife is the breadwinner, has always been the breadwinner, and I was at when I was telling you earlier today, like yeah, in the summers I would stay back with the boys, and yeah, it was me and the boys, and I didn't have a lot of training growing up as a Black father. I didn't. My Black father was not in my life, and my grandpa died early, so I kind of didn't really have a role model in that regard. So I was learning on the fly. So I appreciate what you do, man. It's so important and so important, and I love what you and wifey are doing. But I wanted to, I mean, at some point I want to talk to her too. But I mean, like, I think that I know we have a lot of cross section because I work with my wife too, and she's the star. Like she's the star. Like in this industry, she's the
Yep.
star, and I came in as like, who's this? And then it's like, oh, I'm a guy too, but I know that you both have that juice. You both got the juice. So
Yeah.
I
You
love
know what's
watching you.
interesting with that is, so again, this role of stay-at-home dad is very, very new to me. And like you said, my dad wasn't around. My mom did remarried. I had a stepdad, but the person I really looked up to was my grandfather. And even to this
Hmm.
day, like, he just, he had three girls, one boy, and like just how he showed up for everybody. He
Yeah.
was the deacon in the church. He was the first one in the church. He was the last one there locking it up. It's on some like they say with the team leader and hoop stuff, like first one in,
Yeah.
last one out the
Yeah.
building. Like that was him, but he held everybody down. My uncle was a pastor, held him down. Our family held him down. Like I remember there were times because my mom had me when she was 19 years old, and so
Yep.
she was in her early 20s when my sister was born. And so like one time my mom's car broke down, and I want to say it broke down somewhere in like Linwood or something. My grandpa just
Hmm.
got up at 4 a.m., drove out there, fixed the whatever was wrong with it. He got it working. And like that's what I saw,
Yep.
and that's what I knew growing up. And so anytime I can show up, for my family, for my people, it just showed me that like even though my daughter, is has medical complexities and needs caregiving,
Hmm.
like I have always been that because that's what I saw growing up.
Yeah, and you're living that, and I was telling, like we were talking about earlier, there's so many directions we can take this conversation because you're so multifaceted, and your wife as well. But today we're going to talk about social media, and I want to go down that path because you have expertise in that area, but you also have there's so many other things to talk about. So like we're probably going to have to continue this conversation at another point with something else,
For
because
sure.
I think we touch on a bunch of levels. But so looking at 2024 for social media, as an influencer, you are an influencer with a rich background in social media management as well as creating. So you have both sides. How have you seen the landscape of social media content evolve, like from when you started to now, and where do you see it going?
Yeah. Okay. So when I started from that, so like I had been on social media since MySpace. So basically since like '04, and so you see social media really started out for community building. Like that's literally what it
Yeah.
was. You had actually, to keep it a buck, AOL chat rooms. That's actually
Yep.
where it started.
Yep.
It's like that's community based. MySpace community based. Facebook next. Community based because you could only have a school email address at the time, and then you start
Mm-hmm.
seeing Twitter, IG come on, and so like what I've really seen was our generation really like take it and make it something that I don't know if it was intended, to make it. It was almost like
Mm-hmm.
this community platform, and then we made it this entertainment spectacle. And so
Yep.
now, you go through Instagram, where when Instagram was just pictures and everybody posting these sunsets, posting these lavish vacations,
Mm-hmm.
completely like fronting and all that stuff like that. Like, I'm not saying all of it was cap, but a lot of it you could tell when someone
Yeah.
went to get stock photos. But you went
Yeah.
that, and now like video is big, and now it's like, yeah, you can't fake this no more. So
Right.
like all that stuff that you were building up before, like people want more. They want to see your life now, and I think that's
Right.
where we started to really make our mark in social media. And like at first, I wanted to be a fashion influencer, but it wasn't hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And like all long story less long, and I'll make this relevant in a second. Fashion to me is almost like a therapeutic blanket because I
Okay.
also have a disability and a chronic illness. And so
Yep.
when I dress up the most is when I'm feeling the worst. So,
Mm.
it's kind of like I told you, social media at the time was everyone wants to show the great, the amazing, the positive. But like I was trying to, show all those good facets, but if I'm over here sick, like I can't hide it. You can see it all on me
Right.
on my face. So
Right.
I get, tons of comments on how I'm feeling and all this stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, let me put this shit on so people focus on my outfit and not that.
Yeah. Mm.
The reason why that is relevant because today and what you're seeing in 2024 is people are now like, especially I think because of this AI revolution, people are now wanting to see your real, true, authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see how you show, like literally, they want to damn near like you roll out of bed. They want to see like what your real authentic self is like.
Facts.
None of this, for women, makeup, done up face.
Mm-hmm.
For men, they don't want to see everything put together. Like they want the storyline now. Like how do you wake up and take us through that journey of getting to that point to where
Yep.
you typically see on social media. And so I think that between the authenticity, storytelling is coming back.
Yep.
All I've literally been seeing is, people want long form stuff again because, especially on YouTube, people are watching
Mm.
YouTube on TV. A lot of the youth are
Mm.
watching YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
so like it is just the perfect timing to kind of switch back to just little almost like this form like we're doing right now. Put the camera on and just talk about some real shit, basically.
Right. Right. And you said something really important, which was long form, and like YouTube being tied to the biggest search engine in the world. I think it makes sense. And I just noticed also like recently, I posted a short, and I was able to like for one of our podcasts, and I was able to link it to the long form. So I think YouTube has always been undervalued in my opinion as a social media platform. Do you, and then also you talked about like, what would you say to someone who, because you were talking about like people want to see your life. What would you say to someone that's like, no one wants to see my life? Because I hear a lot of that. Like, I don't think anyone wants to see that. And I'm like, well, it's either going to be you doing X or them watching a meme video of a rat taking a shower or something. You know what I mean? Or the dude jumping over the over the court. You know what I mean? Like people watching. Hey, old boy he
His
cooked
bounce
for me.
though, his
That's what I
that
said. I was like,
uh,
bro, he's an athlete. Why is he in the
bro,
courtroom?
really though, like I kept seeing they put him on Troy Polamalu's body trying to jump over the line on fourth down. They have me dead. But But yes,
Uh,
1000%. So like, I would always say, here's the thing, because I thought the exact same thing. I'm over here. I'm sick as fuck. I be in bed all day. Like,
mhm.
this was before like I had to, watch the kids and be up with them. But it's like I'm in bed all day. No one want to see what the fuck I'm doing. And
Yeah,
then I'm just like, nah, they really want to see the pain of this shit. Like
right.
they're really intrigued and interested in this. And I'm just like, and that's why I think Day in the Life's got so popular is
Yeah.
because you do see, from the moment you wake up to the activity you do. Now, I do think that it is about the story that you can tell not only in your
Mm,
content but in your caption
mm,
because like again I'm just thinking about like if I'm just laying in the bed with no context, they're like, what the fuck
hmm.
is this guy doing, like next,
Yeah.
but if I'm like I'm laying in the bed for the last I'm laying in bed for the next hour to care for myself so I can prepare to care give and caretake,
Right.
it's a little bit different. And now they're like, oh, so what are you going to do today?
Right.
And then they're tapped in and follow you for the rest of the day. But for the most part, uh, you know everybody's sitting there like, why does anybody want to see me? Why would anybody want to hear from me? And the one thing I always tell creators is every single person on this planet has a story to tell. The
Mm,
hard part about this shit is finding the right story to tell that people actually will like listen to and gravitate to.
yep. No, that's that's good. That's good. I think that's good for people to hear, man, because people don't big up themselves enough or think that their story is important or valuable for others. And I just, man, I think that everyone's story, because I was vlogging in the and we talked about that. I vlogged for a little bit, and it was a heavy lift, but it definitely shifted my view of storytelling. I was practicing really out in the open, but what it turned into was something else, and people were like bummed that I stopped. But I was like, yeah, it was just for that year, because I needed to put a timeline on it, because it's like things got busier as we
Yep.
opened back up and stuff like that, and having to produce something like that. But you were on me, and multiple people were on me about, man, just send the editing out, and I'm like, man, but that's so
Yeah.
important to me. It's so
Yeah.
vital
That.
to me personally. But I do need to do that at some point. I'm still working on that.
But
But
listen, but on that, that's a great point because again, like let me quickly speak to any real estate agent or any business person who wants to take social media seriously. I
mm-hmm,
think that editing, doing all the things at first is very important because
mm-hmm,
you need to understand the editing. You need to understand the flow of what you like, the flow of your story, how to put
yeah,
things together, not only the story, but the video. Like you should understand that all the way. And then when you get to a point to where like, all right, you're good, you're grinding on this shit, like you can edit with your eyes closed, that's when
yeah,
you outsource. And
yeah,
so, you know, the game is free time. Like that's what you're after. You're after
mm,
freedom, whether it's financial freedom or time freedom, but like
mm,
everything, ladders up to that. And to be honest, like, yeah, we gonna get to it because I think I got some fire for the agents who like
okay,
truly want to take this shit seriously because there is a
yeah,
recipe for it and it is different than more so vlogging because social media. The
okay,
last point I would make is a lot of social media is turning educational, and
mm-hmm,
that's where I've seen a dip in some of our metrics. It's starting to get a little harder because of that, because people want less of this, day in the life. Like it's almost like they
yeah,
always say, they're like, are you valuing or educating or making people laugh?
mm,
And so, with that being said, like I'm noticing a lot of these platforms are heavily, heavily tilted towards education. So if you can teach
interesting,
somebody some shit, you're gonna be golden. Like it's all you gotta do is put in the work because there are plenty of people out there that have questions that are looking for specific answers, and you know how the attention span is. No one wants to go and read
mm,
through websites and read through Google anymore. Nah, give
mm-hmm,
me this video
right,
and tell me how to do it.
right. In 15, would you say that that's influence of TikTok? Like, how heavily has TikTok influenced like Instagram? Because I used to I go to TikTok and just I want to hear. I get my news from I Am Legally Hype. It's a black woman who
Yeah,
became a
she
lawyer
she's
because
fire.
her she's so dope. And I was like, man, if this was taught like this, I would soak all of this up. And so I
I would
follow
actually
her
know what's
for
happening in the world if that was
man,
happening.
because she breaks it down like how I would understand it or how I would talk or how I would. I'm like, ooh, that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, she relates to us.
Yeah. So do you think that like is how heavily is Instagram and all the other platforms being influenced by TikTok to you?
Yeah. Let me try and I was gonna try to think of a music example, but let's just say like so it really is like this revolving circle. So Meta is Meta. Meta
Mm-hmm.
is this powerhouse, but Meta might be let's just say Meta might be like Kanye. We'll just say
Okay.
that. Like
Okay.
they can stand on their own. You know, people still flock to them. They want to go there. But, you know, Kanye gets his inspiration from a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Instagram tried to become TikTok. And
Yep.
TikTok was like, nah, my boy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Like you can't do it like us. And like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say that Instagram is secretly hoping that TikTok gets banned in the US, but I'm sure they're like, yeah, we stole your swag, we stole your
Mm-hmm.
girl, like we're just
Mm-hmm.
waiting for your downfall. TikTok not even thinking about. They're like, oh, IG, we they're like, we got our eyes set on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like you
That's
said,
what it feels
YouTube
like.
is the sleeping giant over here. YouTube is the one that's like, all right, it's that the best example I could think of, like they said, it's the quiet dude that got hands. Like you're not gonna
Mm.
mess with it, and then when you do, they're gonna put you
Mm.
down. So YouTube's
Mm-hmm.
sitting back here like security in the back, just you know, minding their business, bobbing their head. And now
Yep.
TikTok is approaching them, and YouTube's like, nah, my boy, now we got shorts. Now what?
Mm-hmm. Them
So
shorts, man. I'm a big. I love YouTube. I watch YouTube every day. I watch it more
yep,
than I watch TV.
same.
And like in terms of our strategy for this year, going into this year, some things that I want to do is I'm not going to give out what I want to do, but I want to focus on YouTube a little bit more than we have in the past. You
Right.
know, typically I'm just so caught up in creating content and just making sure that I'm just creating it and getting it out there.
Hmm.
And you know, being more intentional is definitely part of my personal strategy.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this: as a Black creative, what barriers or hurdles? Because like you've had jobs with you know T-Mobile, Microsoft. You've
Hmm.
had major positions of actually like managing the social media for these companies.
Hmm.
As a and then now you're out in the open creating your own content and being an influencer. And I mean, you have a whole world with your daughter and that's a whole animal in itself. And I hope people go and follow you and your wife after this so that they can see the
For
story.
sure.
But as a Black creative, were there barriers or hurdles that you came up against in this field? Because I know that you know, social media, to me it seems like obviously a lot of spaces are white dominated in terms of the culture and just this centric in terms of how you think about it or go about it. But were has it changed from when you first got into the social media field to now, like where Black creators are more accepted or just more the perspectives are more diverse? I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Let me. No, it makes plenty of sense. What I'm actually thinking on is how to say this without being controversial, because to answer your question,
Well, yeah, you don't
it
got to be like putting nothing on blast and like I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but I
oh,
mean,
no, no, no,
you know,
it's more so like it is hard for us. Like
mm,
there's data out there that talk about the pay discrepancy. We'll start there.
mm,
Similar audience, similar engagement, but yet we will get thousands of dollars less. Like a brand X might
interesting.
offer white creator $5,000 for, you know, X amount of followers, X amount of engagement percentage, all of that, you know, exactly the same. And they may offer the black person $500. Like
No,
we've seen it. We've heard all the stuff
damn.
out there. Someone created a whole equity report about it. Like it's out there if you go look for it. And so have I seen that? The only reason I can say it's probably happened to me. I don't know because I'm not in the room with these businesses, but also
Right.
to like having an understanding of like what influencers are getting paid on the corporate level. Um,
Mm.
straight up, one of my old coworkers was like, "You should be getting this amount because this is what
Yeah.
we gave to this person,"
Yep.
and it was about $4,000 less than what I would pitch for that. So
Damn.
it's also, content matters, the kind of content you create, but I think that because you have to realize the end game for these brands is to use your content to run ads. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I mean, that's basically what they're paying for. They could really give two shits less about how it does on your page. It was
Yep.
something I used to
Yep.
stress about, but I don't anymore because I know the game. But long
Yep.
story short, um, they're trying to get to a target audience, and not all the
Yep.
time are we the target audience. But also,
Yeah.
too, I can say the controversial part is like what I've noticed just from my eye, what I've noticed
Mm-hmm.
is there's this whole safety thing. And
Mm.
I mean, I
Mm.
can admit it to a lot of folks, I'm probably very safe. That's why I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
get in some of the spaces that
Same.
I'm in.
That's me. Like I'm the safe black dude. We're educated. We both got you got a master's degree. I got a master's. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like we know how to speak. We know how to articulate our thoughts and
Right.
get
Like
deep and
I take
go
this
a
shit
bunch of
off
different
at
directions.
other places, put the
Yeah.
turtleneck on, like I can play the part, like I can do what I need to do. But like
Yeah.
that's what I, again, see a lot of people, especially on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that you notice a trend.
Yep.
I do believe
Oh, I've
I do
seen
believe
that. I've seen
colorism
those.
exists too
Yeah. Yeah.
within all of it. So I think
Damn.
what saves me is I'm a dad, and you when you get me, you get family, and you can,
Yep.
you know, kind of utilize my family. And a lot of people are just like, um, it's almost like, yeah, it can get
I
real
mean, your
nasty. It's
family's
just like
pretty
anything
damn
else.
cute. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, it ain't
They
like
are.
y'all ain't, like little Rome is like the cutest
He,
little
he's
boy
gonna
I think
be
I've ever
a
seen.
problem, and we
And then
see it
Callie
every
is
single day.
just a character. Like she is funny, bro. Like I love watching that content. And so like I'm a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
watch and I'm always kind of like hitting up Felicia like and both you guys like,
yeah.
man, he is so damn cute. Like I
He
can't
is.
get enough. Um I know it's not always like that because I've had my own boys and I know that I've had kids and I know that they ain't always like that, but
Right.
he's pretty damn cute. His disposition is so.
Yeah, I
You
told her,
guys
I
are,
was like, he's gonna get waves and he's gonna get his ear pierced, and I'm
oh,
like, he's
bruh,
gonna,
it's gonna
oh my
be
God, we're gonna,
over.
yeah.
It's gonna be over. His smile and dimples. I'm like, oh
The dimple,
god,
that's it. Actually, it's the dimples. That's what's
it's
gonna kill
just
him.
crazy. It's just crazy. I love babies, man. I can't wait to be a grandpa. I'm already there. Because I mean, my boys are grown. I miss it. You know,
Right,
like I miss that stage of life. But Um, well, thank you for like that's really important. I think what you just spoke about, a lot of people don't think about. We think about it because we're creators and we're creating in the space and what people attract to. Like I know how to create stuff that's palatable for people. I can do that.
right,
But because I do that. I mean, that's part of this podcast. That's part of you have to go towards what people want, and that's just
right,
the reality. And I will also say there are data points in terms of disposable income. Black people just don't have as much wealth as white folks. And so like when you want to advertise to people, you have to be smart about like, okay, well, where are we gonna get money? Like where are we going to at least get some engagement that might lead to people using our product or our service or whatever? And there's more disposable income in the Asian and white communities. Let's just be real. Like I'm pretty that it's not this data. That's not me
yeah.
being,
Yeah, no.
you know,
I think you're cooking right now because I didn't even necessarily think about that. Like when they are, targeting specifically a certain group. Like I'm sure it's by education. I'm sure it's by
mm-hmm.
salary. And it depends on the product. Because again, like if I did a Shea
Yeah.
Moisture ad, like I mean, Shea Moisture's not gonna market to anybody but us. But it
Right.
just it makes so much sense.
Yeah. No. So, and also for the audience and for everybody else, if the kids are in the background, if you got to go and check on the boy, it's all good. Like we can do that. Um, what emerging trends on social media do you believe have the most user engagement? Like if you could tell, like I know the carousel video carousel, or I'm sorry, carousel with picture video
Hmm.
picture carousel is a
Right.
thing right now.
Yep.
Like I'm following all the stuff, and me personally, like the way I am, I typically try to just do the opposite. Like that's just me being who I am.
Yeah.
Like I like to zag when everyone's zigging.
Yep.
But what would you say are some of the trends on, like, say, Instagram, for example? Because that's where most people are that are listening are
Yeah.
on.
That's a good one, but like I think again, which they ripped it from TikTok. It's the whole you have like a 4 second vertical video of you doing the simplest shit. You could be like walking or
Mm,
something like that, and then you have like text over it, but the text takes up half the picture, so like you have to keep looping the video for you to read all of it.
yeah. Yep.
I'm guilty of doing that recently just to get the cheap engagement, but
Mm-hmm.
that's something that is prevalent on TikTok. The Instagram really adopted,
Mm,
and TikTok it was better because it was like funny stuff. It was like a punchline with it, but Instagram it's like,
hmm.
it could be some educational shit like how to be more productive as a parent, and you're just like holding the baby, rocking, and then all this fucking text is on the screen, but it takes up literally the whole
Yeah.
box of the screen. So that's a big one. I think, I mean, the one you said is good because with any carousel, like you just want people to swipe and it
Yeah.
like keeps them on there longer because really like they want you on the platform longer, they want you to engage with the content longer. So anything where there's multiple pieces to it like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be just Reels in general because Reels is what's driving their platform right now. What's
Yeah.
shitty is they used to let you monetize the Reels based off views. Like most people I knew had it, and
Mm-hmm.
it like it wasn't a lot, but like we were getting a couple $100 a month just off like real engagement, you know? So like
Interesting. Yeah.
it was dope to. Oh my god, hold on. Give me one quick second. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah. Rome was like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to yell at you, bro. Like you ain't even
Yeah.
here. Like where you at?"
I was like, bro, don't be yelling from all the way downstairs. Like that's crazy.
So,
Another thing I would say is so kind of just the main pivot on TikTok in general. And it's becoming harder for me personally. Like I mentioned, kind of talked about this already, but I mentioned just as someone who's more of a storyteller, show your life creator, to now
yeah.
have to like play the SEO game, the search engine
Yeah.
optimization game, which is like it's such a fucking drag. And Instagram is doing it too, and it's just like, bro, say these words so TikTok search can do it. And so that's why I was saying for anyone like
Mm-hmm.
real estate agents or any other business owner who has like something that they can teach the audience, that it's perfect for education just because you're able
Mm,
to specifically talk to, there's a website called answerthepublic.com, and you can just type
okay.
in a keyword. It's I want to say you get 2 free searches a day. But you
Whoa.
can just type in a keyword. So you type in real estate. Actually, we're here. This is what I would do if I was a real
Yeah.
estate agent wanting to get into social media.
Yeah.
So for one, I'm not wasting my time on Instagram. I would have one just to have one. Just let it like funnel all your content after you optimize it for other platforms, to
Mm-hmm.
it. But for the most part, if I was starting out today, I'm going to answerthepublic.com. I'm gonna search
Mm-hmm.
real estate, and once you search, it gives all these questions. So it's basically giving you a list of questions that people around the internet are asking about real
Got it.
estate or about a certain thing. So some questions like, how do you? Let's do this in real time. You know what? Let's
Yep.
make
No,
this a fucking
I'm
perfect
literally just
example.
doing it right here. I'm doing it. I just did it. I've been here
Yeah,
before.
it,
Yeah, I've been here
it's
before.
it's good. I use this. I use Google Trends. I use YouTube with the incognito
Mm.
window. So let's see when we type in real estate, what comes up. Um, and then you can see, the search volume and all that stuff like that. And so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like, will real estate prices drop in 2024? Boom, there's a video.
There's your video right there.
And then you put that exact, text on the screen. And
Mm.
then you start off the video. There's been a lot said about real estate prices, but the question we get a lot is, will real estate prices drop in 2024? No. Shit's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
the yeah,
yeah. It's not. It ain't dropping, bro. Like even if it goes up 2%, it's going up. So like,
right.
yeah. But that's right there. What you just said is a gem, and I think not necessarily just the website, but more about the approach on what content you are going to post and utilizing these services so that you know what to post. Because the hardest part of it is like, for especially, I get the question a lot, is like, I don't even know what to post.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, well, this does it for you. So I mean, I think that's really cool. And like back to the YouTube thing too. I'm circling back. My guy Derek Shock me shout to Shock. He's probably listening to
Hmm.
this with his ears glued to it because we always talk about this all the time.
Hmm.
VidIQ. He gave me
I
that
use it.
one. Yeah, and that's gold, man.
It's
I think
worth.
that's a great one.
I got the medium plan, so mine's $50 a month. It's worth it
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it gives you 50 ideas a day, every single
Mm,
day. It gives you they have a whole like AI thing built in to where like you can ask it for let me see. So like there's a keywords one, so you can type in any keyword and it'll give you like what people are searching for, the search volume. If it's a good, let's do this. We're here. We're here.
yeah.
Let me
No,
see.
that's
What does
that's
it
one
say
right there
for
that I'm definitely I'm interested in. I looked at it and I used it and I was just like, I'm all about AI, man. Like I have a bot right now that's called read.ai. And so for Zoom calls and stuff, it takes notes and does all that stuff. But
you have
even
to
when I'm
like
not there,
yeah, you
it,
literally like it's if you don't utilize AI in your content approach, like you're going to be behind the eight ball. Like you really got to do it. And vidIQ like gives you a score of like competition because like just the word real estate on
uh-huh.
YouTube is extremely high competition. But interestingly enough, real estate photography and wholesale real estate are very
Yeah.
low competition, and they get a hell of a lot of search volume. They get like
Yeah.
40,000 a month. So it's just like, making videos on some of those things. And even if it doesn't, go hand to hand, for example, like real estate photography, you could be talking about some other shit like with real estate and just mention real estate photography, just
Yeah.
a little section of it. So you can add that in there and get all that search volume. So it's really playing the numbers game. But like you said, it's like you gotta, let me see what Seattle real estate look like
Hmm.
because I'm
Yeah.
sure
That's,
it's going to be
man. I
all.
mean, these gems right here are just like, it answers the last question. Because, like, seeking about growing your presence and all that kind of stuff was what I was going to talk about. And this is we just answered it. I think
Yeah.
that this, like, all the stuff we just talked about right there, I think is there's been so many gems throughout this. So I appreciate you coming on and like just sharing. I don't want to spend all your time tonight. This was short notice and all of that. But man, this is all good stuff. And I want to cut it pretty kind of short because I could go
Yep.
on forever. I
For
mean, we could
sure.
talk. I mean, maybe you could talk for
Right.
days and days, like
Yeah.
about all kinds of different stuff. But so that right there, vidIQ, and the one that you said, which was Answer the
Answer the
Public. I
public.
think that
Hmm.
I'll put those links down in the comments, and I appreciate you sharing that's free game, man. But I'm gonna stop right there because I don't want you to give out all the game. Like
Yeah. Give out all
you
the
gotta say
sauce. I was
some of the
ready
game.
to.
Like you giving out all the sauce right now. That's fine. Like you've already given enough. Well, I'm gonna start. We'll start to wrap it up and go into the next segment. The next segment is called Hot Take. Basically, I give you two things, either or, this or that, and you just answer one, and that's it. And that's how we're going to end this little podcast. So, you ready
Sound
for
good.
Hot Take?
Yeah. I'm
All
ready.
right. As a fan, basketball or football?
Basketball.
Okay, you basketball guy. I like
It's
that.
easy. Yeah.
He said easy.
That was too easy.
Man, I'm a hoop dude too. Like I'm a junkie. I mean, you see in the chat, like, man, we be I'm prolific. Like I can talk
Right.
about basketball. Literally, I'm in between things and work, and it's like I see Fred or Leo or someone say something, I'm like, and then I just get back to what I'm doing. Like I ain't even. I just love hoop, man. 20s or 30s?
30s. Way more lit than 20s. Because
Why you like
we
30?
had spending money and we were broke in the 20s still because my wife was just coming off because she didn't make the Olympic trials, and then we both like had that moment of like, I don't know if you knew that, Felicia. Did you know Felicia's background at all?
I know she ran for UW. I know, because you want to know why? My little cousin, my little nephew Johnny is a hurdler at UW right now, freshman. He's running at UW hurdles.
Okay,
he's gonna
Johnny.
break the record there. Yeah, Johnny. Okay. He's gonna break the record. Like, he's that determined. He valedictorian at Lincoln, broke 100 and 200 hurdles, school record in both, state titles in both. Like, that dude is driven. Like, and so UW hurdle records he's coming after him. Like,
okay,
like that.
Okay,
he's really that guy.
Go get him, Johnny.
Yeah,
Johnny, we're rooting.
Little Johnny. So yeah, you were talking about. You said your wife. Yeah, that's how I know. Yeah, I know she.
Yeah, 2-time All-American, ran pro. Was this close to the 2012 trials. They took 30 girls, and she was number 33 at the time. So she was crushed. So like, we had to. She was like, my whole life has been this. So like, now we got to figure out how we gonna pivot. And so we went to get our master's and got married. And so like, all that was like fun and cool. But like, our 30s was like, oh, we got like big people jobs now. Like, we can go places and do like, all the dumb shit. Throw a stack and go to Usher for 20 hours. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's dope. And I mean, that's a whole story within itself at some point, like your wife and Felicia's, just plight, and like, that's what I said. Like, people don't understand, like, y'all are a power couple, and I think that's really dope, and I just celebrate y'all a lot. All right, night in or night out?
Oh my God, night in. Okay. Keep my ass at the house.
Yeah, ain't nothing out there for me, bro. Like,
nah, but she can go out and take the kids with her though.
Instagram or TikTok?
I have to say TikTok for viewing pleasure, because Instagram is my money platform, but TikTok is where like I actually enjoy the content. It always trickles to Instagram, of course, but like, TikTok it hits different.
Yep. All right, last one. Hats or shoes? If the house is on fire right now, you grabbing all your hats or you grabbing all your shoes? Which one are you doing?
Shoes, because the hats are dope, but like this one, like, this is my shit. Anomaly is custom. My dad swag shit custom. I'll just get more made. But yeah, it's got to be the shoe. It's got to be the shoes.
Gotta be the shoes.
Can't replace that shit.
Nah, it gotta be the shoes. I'm definitely going. I don't wear. I mean, I have beanies and hats and all that stuff. But yeah, it's got it. Like, my favorite shoes would be the first joints. I just got some boots that I'll show you after we get off this podcast. That I've been looking for a long time, man. But anyway, man, I appreciate you. How do people find you if they want to follow you and Felicia's story, or just your story, or the kids' stories? How do people find you, and where can you find you at?
Yeah, so the kids' story, our family YouTube channel. So just type in Felicia Johnson, because she runs the channel. FALESHA Johnson, typical spelling, or Callie Johnson, CALI Johnson. And then we're both on Instagram, Felicia11. I'm Rome Johns on Instagram, ROMEJOHNS. Romy Johns on TikTok, ROMIEJOHNS. So follow us on all them things.
Yeah, man. Y'all are doing it. And the podcast, too.
Rebirth of Life and Love podcast. Yeah, that's a good call, because I didn't even think to shout that one out. But yeah, wife and I got a podcast about our marriage, been together 13 years, married for 7. So we're just trying to help some people get out of them situations they found themselves in during COVID times.
For sure. Man, I obviously, I always enjoy talking to you, man. And, we'll tap back in. We got Black History Month coming up. We might talk about some other Black things coming up. But I appreciate you. You dropped a lot of gems. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tap in with the Johnson family. And then with that, we're going to be out. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.